And last night, they want to blame the refs. They want to blame the replay system. Okay? Not the LeBron James 16 seconds left missed wide open three. Nah, that wasn't it. Or the fact that Anthony Davis had no points in the fourth quarter. Darvin Ham couldn't dial up a play. Or the fact that once again, a Lakers starter gave you a nothing burger. Rui, 3 points. Not that in the last 10 minutes, the Lakers went away from the pick and roll with AD and LeBron. I think LeBron just gets tired. We know the Lakers don't have the talent or the versatility of Denver. Last night's a great example. Jokic did not play well in the first half. Murray was awful in the first three quarters. But because of their surrounding talent, they can keep it close and make runs. These teams have played 10 straight times. The games all look the same. They're all close. We've said all year, Lakers aren't going to beat them, but they match up with them well. The difference is, though, last night, last 9 possessions for Denver, they scored on 8 of them. Why? Because LeBron and AD in both games have had to overcome a starter that gave you nothing. D'Lo was awful in game 1, and Rui was awful in game 2. Jamal Murray wasn't good last night in the first 3 quarters, but he was remarkable in the fourth. Jokic had a rare bad half, but he was money in the second half. Denver always wins this game because Denver, their 2 stars, can have a bad quarter, can have a bad half. They don't have to be gassed. Jokic just lets the game come to him. He doesn't press when things are going awry. He's got Gordon and Porter and KCP. He doesn't have to press. If LeBron doesn't get D'Lo help, he's got to empty the tank. If AD doesn't get Rui help, he's got to empty the tank. And so, I mean, again, last night, Jokic and Murray didn't do anything in the first half. But in the last 9 possessions, Denver scored in 8. And those are the crunch time numbers. That's the best defense you'll face. That's the most 8. And those are the half. But in the last, again, last night, Jokic and Murray didn't do anything in the first half.
Jokic had a double-double in the first quarter. What is he even talking about? I don't even know if he's even watched this game, quite honestly.
But in the last 9 possessions, Denver scored in 8. And those are the crunch time numbers. That's the best defense you'll face. That's the most pressure you'll face. And this is what championship teams like Denver deliver. It's not just that they have the best player in the world, because LeBron and AD aren't far behind. It's the ability for their star teammates, who often have bad halves, to still be brilliant, like Jamal Murray, when you need him to deliver. And in that fourth quarter, whereas D'Lo was bad the entire game 1, and Rui was awful last night the entire game, Jamal Murray, as a star, they're going to go back to L.A. The games will be close. The Lakers will empty the tank. But this has been the most predictable series of all of them. The Lakers match up well. The Lakers have 2 stars, but LeBron and AD are always have to overcome a weak bench, sometimes regrettable substitution patterns by Darvin Ham. And by the end of the game, what's AD have left? Not much offensively. What?
Okay, so as you guys know, I have, said that I think the Nuggets are going to win this and the Lakers don't have a good chance at winning. And I said, we're trying to force this series to be something when there's really just no chance. And the reason why we're talking about it so much even is because it's LeBron James, who's obviously LeBron James, and the Lakers, an iconic organization. So now I'm going to be taking the other side of this to a degree, because I understand what Colin is saying, about blaming the refs. And I'm going to be making a couple videos now. This is the first one that I'm recording, because I'm going to be talking about the Sixers as well. And I'm going to also, with regards to Colin, because I could see that he's going to talk about the Sixers in a different clip, as well as first things first. I see that they also, posted a video about, talking about Embiid and the Sixers and stuff like that. So this is going to be a common theme today. But here's the reality. Both things can be true. Blame can go to the refs, and blame can go to the Lakers. LeBron James is a master at, changing the narrative, and, he plays a great shell game, right? The shell game meaning where you have like a little whatever underneath something, and you flip around the shell and try to say which one's underneath, where's the little ball or marble or, whatever underneath the shell. And LeBron is great at that. But I will say this. LeBron is not the guy who comes up post-game and is always complaining about the refs nonstop. So the fact that he made this comment about the Lakers game and also the Sixers versus the Knicks, it should mean something. On one breath, we can't say that LeBron James is like one of the greatest players of all time, that his basketball IQ is through the roof, that he's a savant, that he's a great ambassador for the sport. He's always defended the NBA, even under rocky situations, whether it be social justice issues, especially ones that were happening overseas and everything, with the whole thing with Daryl Morey and all that. Like, he's always had the NBA's back in that regard. So the fact that he makes this statement should mean something. And the fact that Colin can't recognize that is absurd, because years ago, Tom Brady tweeted out something about the refs, about, with the NFL. And Colin said, we should listen to Tom. Don't you think Tom knows a thing or two about football? So why is it in that situation we listen to Tom Brady, but we don't listen to LeBron James? And now basketball is a different sport than football. Football, you miss as a viewer and as a fan, watching the game, you really only see what the TV wants you to see and the replays and all of that. Because a lot happens in a football game that you just can't see as a viewer watching at home. It's just too hard. You can't really tell where there's a hold, where there's not. Was this person offsides? Were they not? It's just too difficult to tell. Of course, sometimes you can tell depending when the penalty takes place, but a lot of times, especially where the camera's following and where the ball is, what's going on, you just can't tell. Basketball's different. Of course, there's going to be some fouls that you miss as a viewer as well, but you can get a much deeper feel for that. Not to mention, the commentators are a lot more vocal about what's going on when a ref is missing a call versus not. So, listen, because I even see in the clip it says Lakers blew a 20-point lead. I reject that, because that's not how basketball is played anymore. It's not blowing a 20-point lead. It's just they lost. It's like I don't even want to call it a comeback anymore. It's like saying in football the team blew a 7-point lead. No, they were just up by a touchdown, and then they had more game to play. That's what happens. D'Angelo Russell was really hot in the beginning of the game, and then he cooled off, just like how Jamal Murray was doing nothing throughout the whole game, and then finally was able to get things going. It's just the flow of the game. So I reject this idea that something was blown, or that the Lakers should have done this versus that. Like, I get it. It's very easy to say those things. Well, why didn't LeBron make that shot with 15 seconds to go, or whatever the heck it was? Because he didn't. Steph Curry misses those shots too. Michael Jordan misses those shots. Kobe Bryant misses those shots. It just is what it is. There's another world where Jamal Murray misses that game-winning shot. Instead, we watch the game where he made it. It's just more complicated than that. So both things can be true, that the Lakers could have played better, especially down the stretch, and that the refs made some egregious errors. And I don't understand why, as media, viewers, fans, whatever, we feel the need that it could only be one thing. It has to either be the refs, nothing else, or it has to be the team. Well, it's LeBron's fault. It's AD's fault. How does that make sense? Colin talks all the time about how he rather work for someone that gives him some freedom, that he needs a good boss, that when he's worked with bosses that were difficult, it made his job difficult, his life difficult, everything more difficult. That is exactly how sports is. If a game is not officiated consistently and appropriately and accurately, well, then it's really hard for the players to do their job. And I'm not going to say that the refs are the reason why the Lakers lost, but it is undeniably a factor at play. How can it not be? If it played no factor, then refs wouldn't exist. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you think about LeBron's comments at the end of the game, where he blamed the refs and bounced, And what do you think about Khan's take on this of, never blame the refs, essentially? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see a part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.